welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin. And I'm here to share with you a card made with the Take to the Sky suite. Let me get my face out of the way and let's talk about this card. So in my Scrappin space, it's Monday. And on Monday, January through the end of June, I like to share with you a masculine card. I call it Man Card Monday, and this is the card I've designed for today. I'm using a paper pack from a suite in the 24 to 25 annual catalog, and the paper pack is called Take to the Sky. As you can see, it has lots of theme-related papers and a couple plaids and checks, which I think are always fun to work with. And to that, I grabbed the Happy Birthday out of the coordinating stamp set because I'm in need of more masculine birthday cards. But it has a great Father's Day card sentiment in here. If you don't need a sentiment flying by to say hi, I think this is my favorite though. You're the best, plain and simple. Okay, let's look at the card we're making. Let me get a couple of these pieces just out of our way. So here's my card. And if you aren't interested in making a masculine card, I'd still check out the blog post on scrappinwithjoni.com. These measurements are great for any print paper. You could use a background and a floral and make a totally different kind of card. So it's just a great card pattern to have, and you could really use any kind of embossing folder. But let me show you what I use for this card. My card base is Night of Navy. And again, all the numbers, measurements, supply lists are on the Scrappin with Joni blog. So we're going to begin by embossing this front piece. And I chose Forever Plaid. It's my new favorite embossing folder. But really, any overall embossing folder would look great. We have one called So Swirly. That would kind of give the impression of clouds. Whatever works for you. I just felt like the Forever Plaid, the lines kind of mimic the lines in here. So let's get this embossed. When I get an embossing folder, I add the title and what plates, meaning in my cut and emboss, I'm going to use plates 1 and 4. Stampin' Up has started releasing more of these folders that are longer. I love that. Let me show you one of the things I love about it. So this is a standard mat, 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put that in here. Oh, I have something black flying around on my table. There we go. Lots of scraps of that. And then I'm going to grab another one of the same size. Because why emboss one mat when you can emboss 2? I'll put both of these in here. I'm kind of lining them up on the line so they look a little straighter. Let's grab our cut and emboss machine. And we're going to use plate 1. Because we're only using 2 plates for this one, this goes in next because you always have a plate on top. That protects what you're using, whether it's an embossing folder or a die, and it protects your machine. Everything is lined up straight, and now I'm just going to roll it through and see how smooth that goes through. If your machine is kind of fighting you, like it's really, really hard to send through, stop and check. Do you have the right sandwich? Is everything lined up correctly? There we go. So now I've embossed 2 card fronts because it's very rare that I cut out paper and make 1 card. I send lots of cards, and so look at that. I have 2 done. We only need 1 for this card, but I'll be sure to make another card with this piece. So we have that. Here's our Night of Navy card base. And I'm going to fold that in half. And to make sure I get a nice fold, I'm going to just take the bone folder and give it another fold. This is going right here, right in the center. Now, as you can probably see from here, it's pretty heavily embossed. So I'm going to grab the all-purpose glue. Honestly, my favorite adhesive is our Seal Plus tape runner, but a tape runner can kind of float on the top of this, where this glue, I don't have to work real hard. It's going to go in those crevices when I press down. But what I don't want to do is get too close to the edge. This is as close as I should get, which I'm just at about 1/4 inch all the way around. And then I'm going to make sure my card base is straight because if my card base is straight, I have a better shot at getting this mat on straight. And straight just means that I have about the same amount of distance all the way around. Look at that white against that knighted navy. Doesn't that pop? I think it even helps you see the embossing more. So this is a great embossing folder. You really can tell. One of the things I do when I have it so heavily embossed and I want to make sure it's going to get tight to the corners, I turn it over and kind of press from this side. It's just a little easier because you're pressing against a flat surface. Okay, so we have that. Now my 2 pieces of paper I've matted. I think it just adds a little bit more interest and certainly pops against the white. So let's grab those pieces. And my mats are 1/4 inch bigger than my paper. So if you'd like this piece to be longer or shorter on your card, just make the mat 1/4 inch of whatever size print paper you use. Okay, let's grab that tape runner. And I'm just going to pop a little bit back on there, and I'm going to center it. I'm going to do the same with this one. Just like that. And I grabbed a little bit of paper when I was doing that. It doesn't matter, it's at the back, but I'm going to make sure I still have adhesive there. And what's happening is, I don't know if you can see, I can see the red. That means I'm at the end. There we go. Okay, this piece is just going to kind of line up against the edge here, and I'm centering it about top and bottom and about the same distance from the side. We're not going to measure, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm going back to the multi-purpose glue because I'm gluing it to a heavily embossed surface. And again, I'm not going to get the glue too close to the outside, just like that. There we go. And that's going to go, and again, we'll start straight and see how I do. But with the multi-purpose glue, I can kind of move it around till I get it where I want it. And then I'm going to push again to get that glue everywhere. And I may just even do this. Now this one, I'm going to use dimensionals. And if you haven't used dimensionals, excuse me, think of tiny pieces of foam. They come off the paper sticky. Just like that. Now 4 really should be enough. And I keep talking, but this really has a lot of bumps to it, to the surface. So I'm going to throw a couple more right in the middle to make sure we have lots of places for it to grab onto. And then you just peel the backs off. I'm going to grab my little bowl and put the backs in it right away, because if I don't contain these, they're going to travel everywhere. They're going to stick to my shoes, to my clothes. They're going to land in my car. There we go. And then this has a direction, so I want to make sure the airplanes are flying, not upside down. That would not be very safe, would it? There we go. Then at this point, I felt like we needed a couple little embellishments. These might be the one I go to the most, because I think they have a little bit of texture, and you can use them on a variety of cards. They're called adhesive back texture dots. I'm going to put 3 on, because that's what I prefer, an odd number on the cards. And I'm going to put them in a roughly triangular shape. And that just means one of them is going to hang out by themselves, and the other 2 are going to be closer together. There we go. Now before we go any further, I want to point something out. On the card I started with, notice I moved this one down closer. On this one I didn't. It doesn't matter. What's giving you the interest here is 2 prints, different sizes, both matted. So it really doesn't matter where you put it on there. You just want them to overlap. Okay, so now we need something for the inside. And as I said, I need birthday cards. So I stamped Happy Birthday from Adventurous Sky that I showed you at the beginning. And I have just a 1/2 inch strip of the print I used on the front. If you didn't have a lot of this print, you could certainly grab this one too. That's the advantage of using 2 prints on your card front. Choices. And I'm going to put just a touch of glue across here. And as I said, this card design doesn't have to be used with this paper or for a masculine card. It's a great design with whatever 2 prints you want to use. That's going to go, oh, let's just move it a little bit. That's one of the advantages of that multi-purpose glue. I don't want to see any white at the top, so I can move it. There we go. Now you're watching at this point and you already know what I'm going to say, don't you? We are not sending this great card out in a naked envelope. So we're going to, you could stamp airplane on here. You could emboss it. I'm going to just quick add a piece of paper. So this again is the same print that I have on the card front. I could have used the other one. And just on the envelope flap, I'm going to put just around the outside, but all the way around the outside. I don't want a gap where like a postage machine could get in there and catch it if there was an opening. And we're going to close that up. And let's just trim our paper and we're almost there. So I'm using the card. The back of the card is my guide. That's going in there while I'm trimming. Let's trim up this piece. Just like this. Just use your guide and all the way around. It's such a simple thing to do, and it makes such a difference on your envelopes. Look at that envelope. So much more interesting. Like you're going to get this in the mail and think, that's what I want to open. I can't wait to see what's inside there. Let's throw a little bit of tape runner on the back of here. And that's going in here. And look what that 1/2 inch of a scrap of paper does for the inside of that card. Just finishes it, doesn't it? Okay, so here's our Man Card Monday made with Take to the Sky. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, please think about sharing it with your crafty friends. Until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good for you.